Okay, you think the freedom's been assaulted. Well, there's a way out of this, right? Let's vaccinate our way out of it. Now, there's one place where this dangerous propaganda has come from more than any other, maybe aside from Donald Trump, throughout the pandemic, right? I mean, I'm just talking all the way from the beginning, and that's Fox News. I mean, when you take a step back, from the beginning, they have tried every single way of undermining the response to coronavirus. Even before the vaccine came along, they spread lies and railed against every possible solution. We had all the public health measures that were at our disposal to try to save lives.
I'm not afraid of the coronavirus, and no one else should be that afraid either.
One thing we've learned is, even when there's an infected person amongst thousands and thousands, in our case, over 10,000 people, it is very, very difficult to contract this virus.
I feel like the more I learn about this, the less there is to worry about.
I was about to say the same thing.
It's a virus like the flu.
It's actually the safest time to fly. Everyone I know that's flying right now, terminals are pretty much dead.
By having total population isolation, we are preventing natural immunity from developing.
Now, these endless one-size-fits-all lockdown orders, like the governor of Michigan, they need to end now, right now.
Many are willing to take the risk of contracting the virus. We've seen that in the polling, frankly, what they rate as more worrisome to them. And they would risk this in order to preserve their way of life.
Mr. Vice President, I'm holding up a letter, and I'm going to read from it in a second, from a doctor in the New York area. And he has a regimen, hydroxychloroquine. I would use it for me, and I'm only speaking for me.
Okay, so we had the lockdowns. It's just like the flu. It's actually not that bad. It's hard to get. The lockdowns don't work. The lockdowns are tyrannical. Hydroxychloroquine, the malaria drug, remember that? You should take that. Now, here's the thing. A lot of the animus on that network directed at the public health measures, like, shelter-in-place orders, closing down businesses, social distancing, those did have a lot of really brutal costs. I mean, right? We all experienced them, sitting in our homes, not sending our kids to school. I mean, some level of frustration with that made sense. But here's the thing. We've now got a way out of that, okay? We can vaccinate our way out of the pandemic and not have to deal with those things. But now that we're at that point, Fox News, especially Tucker Carlson, is now trying to undermine the vaccines.
How effective is this coronavirus vaccine? How necessary is it to take the vaccine? Don't dismiss those questions from anti-vaxxers. It is possible, in fact, that this vaccine is more dangerous than they're indicating it is. Why are Joe Biden and Kamala Harris still wearing their silly little obedience masks everywhere they go? They've been vaccinated, so is everyone around them. So why the masks? Why the restrictions? What exactly is going on here? We know it's not science. We know that for certain.
If vaccines work, why are vaccinated people still banned from living normal lives? So maybe it doesn't work, and they're simply not telling you that.
Yeah, why all this thing? Why? I'm just asking questions. Why am I always asking questions? I don't know. I'm just asking questions, okay? All of that has been flowing over the airwaves into millions of American homes. The head of Fox News parent company, Lachlan Murdoch, he moved his family to Australia. Now, let's be clear here. That makes a certain amount of sense, of course. His father grew up there, started his career there. And Lord knows, I don't begrudge anyone moving their family anywhere. But, it is notable because Australia is a place that basically does not have the coronavirus, which would be a nice thing to experience. But, the reason they don't have that is their government undertook stringent public health measures at the beginning of the pandemic to lock people in place, to stop them from moving around, to contact trace and snuff out the virus. And when it reappeared, you know what they did? They locked down again. And when people violated the movement restrictions, which were stricter than anything any state in America ever did, it was front page news and a national scandal. Teenagers crossing the Queensland border. And through those policies that Fox News would describe as absolute tyranny and whip up anger against if they happened here, well, Australia basically got rid of the virus. So Lachlan Murdoch can live in Australia, along with the rest of that country, as if COVID basically doesn't exist. And they can enjoy their music festivals. They can go out to eat and have weddings and all that stuff. Lucky him. The only reason that was possible is because of a government that was able to undertake the kinds of policies that Murdoch's own network has been subverting and sabotaging from day one. The outcome in the United States is in no small part on their hands. It continues to be to this day because we're not out of the woods yet.